Hello and welcome to my site. This is Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. This is a picture of Dr. Berg, and he's talking about telomeres. Now, why telomeres is so important is because it deals with genetic structures and your aging. And he talks about why it's important. And this is just one example of thinking outside the box. But our genetics are so important. We're going to talk more about that in anti-aging in the future. But what I want you to know is that there's a lot more to this story than we could possibly say in one short video. But I want to help you think outside the box. For example, years ago I had an individual come to me and these are two stories. I had a mailing come to me, and this man said he knew of a doctor in the southeast United States that had cured cancers that were not curable by radiation or chemo. He would only take patients that had already went through radiation or chemotherapy and had not been cured. And he cured them by helping the body attack the cancers in a significant way. He raised the body's temperature, and you can do your own research. Countries that have malaria and don't have cancers, because malaria causes the body to attack itself and raise the body's temperature, trying to get rid of the malaria. It also cleans out the body and gets rid of cancer cells, obviously. Anyhow, this is just one example. Now, of thinking outside the box, let's go to another shot here. This is Dr. Andreas Kalcker, and he works with CLO2, and he spent years working with this, and he'll show you how to make CLO2. Now, why CLO2 important? Chlorine dioxide. It actually increases oxygen in the body on the surface or internally, and an increase of oxygen helps your body in many, many ways. Wrongly marketed as a bleach, it's actually an oxygen increaser, CLO2. We'll give you the source on Dr. Kalcker's stuff, Andreas Kalcker's stuff on CLO2. Now let's go to the third one. This is a revolutionary treatment with gene therapy and immune therapy. And it's so important to understand that they are doing things with immune therapy that have not been done before, but that help support and get rid of cancers. This is a great story. It's by Berg and by this doctor here. So we're going to end it in this area, again, kind of focusing around helping think outside the box and working with the body's own immune systems to help beat cancer.
On to immunotherapy.
Interleukin-2 was only effective for a small fraction of patients, but it proved Dr. Rosenberg's idea could work. He and his team have spent the last 30 years trying to improve the treatment. Recently, they've had a breakthrough thanks to advances in genetic engineering. Essentially, they can take your own immune cells and reprogram them to attack cancer.
We can isolate the lymphocytes from the blood, the immune warriors of the body.
Now, these lymphocytes, they're very much like COVID-19. I want you to think outside the box. I'm not a doctor, but this is very important to understand that genetics must be handled carefully when it comes to working with your body. Wrong genetic manipulations, and you can study this from various experts, can create a disease like COVID-19 or can create a system like this to help get rid of cancer. So we have to be very careful what we do with genetic engineering.
And then introduce new genes into the lymphocytes to give them a property that will recognize and destroy the cancer. We then go on and expand those cells to large numbers and administer them to patients.
Dr. Rosenberg is now testing this approach on patients who failed to respond to any other forms of treatment.
So Mr. Oakes came to us having been through multiple chemotherapy regimens that had not helped him. And he came to us with a large grapefruit-sized mass in his abdomen, and you can see it on this CAT scan right here.
They finally said, the chemo isn't working for you, you're not responding well to it, so there's nothing more we can do for you. However, there is some new experimental programs that are being conducted at National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, Maryland, and we're going to try to get you into those. They took a little bit of my blood and did a little work on it in their laboratory for about 5 days, put it back in, and let it go to work attacking the cancer. The treatment is pretty simple. In about a month, it's done.
Nice to be walking.
Without the side effects of radiation therapy or chemotherapy, I might add, and probably a lot quicker. This is the rest of the story of his story, part of it. It's pretty powerful, so listen up.
Nice to see you walking. Doing great, honey.
When we came back for our first checkup is really the first indication of how well the treatment worked. They said, we see no active cancer, and my wife and I just grabbed each other's hands and said, thank you, God, and thank you, Dr. Rosenberg. It's a great relief.
This is Dr. Arnold T. Petsworth.
All right, so there you are. We'll give you the sources for these 3 videos, but I want you to start thinking outside the box. What could raising your temperature do? And think about how much money is spent on prescriptions and drugs to lower our body's temperature, to keep it lower. And yet, I think the body needs to clean itself out occasionally, and we need to let our temperature go up carefully and wisely, and let the body clean out. We also need to think about processes of aging and how we can slow that down, telomeres and other therapies. We also need to think about gene therapy, not getting rid of cancers, but helping our bodies stay young, stay healthy, and stay active. And this is just a small sample of thinking outside of the box. There's much, much more to what we spray on our foods, to how we eat, how much we eat, how we exercise and work and use our body throughout our life, how we use mental activity in meditation form to reduce stress and other things, how we work in the environment we're in, and a multitude of other ideas. The body's a whole and complete system, but we need to know what's going on with the body individually, because not everybody is in the same stress situation, has the same genetics, has the same health problems or health challenges or health blessings. So we need to look at the whole system. And we need to get into a system where we can look at the best medical advice, the best non-medical advice with, and I shouldn't say non-medical, with herbs, with oils, with foods, with different ologies like iridology, reflexology, acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractic. There are a multitude of non-traditional medicines that show us that there's much more to medicine than the pharmaceutical side of it, much more. And we need to pay attention to those other areas as well. And we are going to introduce you to some of these areas which should be carefully looked at, because history has shown us that these sciences are valid. And they've been used a much longer time period than modern Western medicine, not only in herbs and in foods and in oils, but in things like massaging and masseuse, chiropractic, and acupressure, acupuncture, course, herbal treatments around the world have been used for thousands of years. But the body is a complex system of systems. Your neurological, your muscular, your cellular, your digestive, your glandular, your circulation, your sexular, your hormones. It has multiple systems in them, and these systems should be looked at in a much broader view than just pharmaceutical. I'm going to let it go at that. But doctors, Western doctors, Eastern doctors need to get together, because what we eat, what we think, what we do, how we affect these systems emotionally, physically, spiritually, will affect our health. And that has been clear historically, long before Western medicine was developed. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Have a great day. Have a healthy life. And think outside the box. Let's get a system going where we can use all these practices to help individuals stay healthy longer, live fuller, healthier lives, and bless themselves, bless their families, bless their children and grandchildren, and so forth. Thinking outside the box, using a holistic approach in many of these other non-traditional Western medicines may be key to many ways of helping us have a fuller, more active, more energetic life. Good day.